Okay, so, the second episode of the show is on, Old Doc Methuselah by L. Ron Hubbard. So, I remember a little bit more about this episode, which is good because I remember almost nothing about the book. And I've read the book multiple times, but I remember nothing about the book, which is why, when I started doing the revisited episodes, I was originally going to do one every month, but when I attempted to do this one, I started suffering from burnout because I just didn't remember the book enough to be able to do something on it. And reading it again, it was just like, it's just so boring. So, I don't know how I did this episode, honestly, and it's going to be interesting to watch it because of how little I remember about the book. I don't remember that much about what I said in the video. I remember, I did not make a Scientology joke, although if I did, I probably would have just done the insert your own Scientology joke here, because honestly, with L. Ron Hubbard, it's just easier to do it that way. Yeah, so that was the second episode of the show. I don't remember a lot about, making the episode either. I remember that, when I was about to finish filming, my phone went off for whatever reason. I don't remember why. But I remember I was like, God, it ruined my take, like I was doing takes. Like, I used to get kind of angry when something would get interrupted, and it was like, it's not worth, you could do it again. I could do it again. It's not worth getting angry over. Now, because I write everything, when I mess up a take, and I'll sit here and something will happen where I have to repeat the same line 15 times, I will get justifiably angry. But, like, back then, I remember getting angry, and I'm thinking back, like, what did I have to be angry about? You know? So, yeah. I'm talking and pausing because I'm trying to stall this because I don't want to watch the episode. I know, like, last time I was like, oh, it was so bad, but I did it anyway. It was just, I've watched more of this episode because I've had to go and get, when I've had to go and get clips, or when I had to make, like, the thumbnail for older videos. I started at one point making thumbnails for videos, even ones that weren't on YouTube, for the sake of just having them in a folder so that I had, you know, how I had all the videos, because at one point, I was compiling a list of all my episodes, because at one point I didn't have a list, which was why I almost missed, the 50th episode, because I would just, just occasionally go and count the episodes, but, you know, I ended up almost missing the 50th, so I made a list, but I also started making thumbnails, you know, on the off chance, because at that point I didn't know I was going to be doing this video, so I had to watch more of it to make the thumbnail, and it was just, it's not good, and I don't want to watch it, but, yeah, so that was the episode. That's what I remember about making it, and let's watch and get my reaction. I'll see you when it's over.
Hello, and welcome to another book review. I've decided that I'm going to make this standard, and due to lack of a better explanation, the theme song is going to go with the book. A Quantum Leap book will use my Quantum Leap opening from the Quantum Leap television show review. For example, Doctor Who will use the Doctor Who review. Unless it's a more recent Doctor, it will probably be the John Pertwee, I Am the Doctor. But I'm going to create my own theme song for books that don't fall into that category. Because, right here, Old Doc Methuselah by L. Ron Hubbard. Obviously, this book is not a television show or a movie that had music. Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, I would use the TV show theme, or So Long and Thanks for All the Fish. But this doesn't have one. So, enjoy the theme song. Okay, now to get on to the actual review. But let me give you a history of this book and me. You can see it clearly. Okay, so a few years ago, it was a while ago, I can't pinpoint the exact year, sometime between 2007 and 2009, obviously, because it happened during one of the family vacations we took. We went to Pennsylvania and we had a brochure for this place called the Odd Lot. Now, I know, sounds odd. It was a place that sells like old stuff. Like I found a VHS tape on how to use the internet. Yeah, that old. I'm literally imagining your reaction right now, which is why I commented on it. Anyway, so the tag is kind of ripped off because this book was in storage for a while. 99 cents. Probably plus tax, it doesn't tell me. But it tells me that when it originally came out, it cost $18.95. Oh boy, I got a great deal. So here what we have is it has a dust cover, which I'm a big fan of, but when I read it, which was a very short time ago, because when I first picked it up, I'm like, I read the first few pages, I couldn't get into it. And also I found out L. Ron Hubbard created Scientology, so that kind of threw me off. But I ran out of books to read, so I decided to dig this old gem out. So it has a dust cover and a regular cover. I think this is L. Ron Hubbard's signature by Bridge Publications. Okay, so I'm going to put the dust cover back on the book, and I will tell you more about the book itself. Old Doc Methuselah was a short story series. Now, as you can see from the cover, Old Doc Methuselah by L. Ron Hubbard, The Intergalactic Adventures of the Soldier of Light. You can see on the cover of this, it had a different cover, I guess, when it was originally released, but, whatever. Because the thing is, when I read this book, maybe it's because of the Doc part, or the fact that he has a companion and travels through space, I imagine Old Doc Methuselah as William Hartnell, who, if you don't already know and didn't see him in the theme song for the John Curtley book, the first Doctor, the first actor to ever play the Doctor, which is a huge achievement, I guess, because, hey, he was the first actor to play the most well-known character, besides Dave Lister, of course. No Red Dwarf fans in the audience. Okay, I'll keep going. Okay, the reviews. The New York Daily News, which is, surprisingly, a paper I happen to read. I happen to enjoy it. So, he is a brilliant science fiction author. Delightful, amazing, and filled with wonder. Robert Silverberg. Inventive, exciting stories about a larger-than-life hero in a universe full of bold adventure. Classic adventure by a classic writer. And one thing Hubbard did well was a buckle of mean swat. Old Doc is fast-moving action and a lot of fun. Which is actually true. Now, I'm sorry if you can't see the book when I do this. It's just I'm going to read you from the dust cover inside the book. L. Ron Hubbard, the author of 32 national bestsellers. Interesting. Right? Okay. Old Doc Methuselah was the name he was known by on the myriad of scattered planets for the most famous organization of the cosmos, the Soldiers of Light. But he wasn't a military soldier. He is a doctor, and he doesn't have an allegiance to one, government. He travels around, regardless of anything. He will help you find the problem. Like the Doctor, which must be why I picture him as William Hartnell. So, anyway, I'll read you more. Encountering double-dealing mutation, unexpected. Old Doc and his unique multi-armed companion, Hippocrates, you saw him on the cover, he's that weird guy, share a series of astonishing adventures in their unending journey through the trackless galaxies. Okay, so, yeah, book, collection of short stories. I'll read you the titles. I really, before I get too far into it, I really recommend this book if you're a serious science fiction lover, like me. He also wrote Battlefield Earth and the Mission Earth Decalogy. Whatever. It's a group of 10 volumes. Bridge Publications. Okay, here we go. Introduction, forward. Oh, here are the stories. Here we go. Old Doc Methuselah, Her Majesty's Aberration, The Expensive Slave, The Great Air Monopoly, Plague, A Sound Investment, and Old Mother Methuselah. But I'm only going to tell you about the first story, and I'm not going to give away the ending because I don't want to spoil it. But I highly recommend this book. The only reason I was willing to spoil the ending of, the Auton Invasion was because it was a TV episode. So everybody's going to go spearhead in space? Well, I'm going to go watch it. You can't do that with this, can ya? You can't. Okay, so, Old Doc Methuselah. Well, what happened was, they landed on a planet and, they landed on Spico. Look at the map of the stars, or if you live in New York, the Earth Science reference tables, and look at the celestial object chart, you will see Spico. I was surprised to see it there, or Spico. Whatever. I was really surprised to see it there, and really excited when I saw it. So anyway, Old Doc Methuselah. It is a great book. So he lands on the planet, and he does this never one, a whole lot of, adventures. Yes, adventures. And they're very exciting. So, what else can I say about this book other than it is awesome? I recommend you pick up a copy of it, or somewhere around Hubbard's work. But Old Doc Methuselah is a good book. Like, they have the picture on the cover, but I just imagine William Hartnell. And Hippocrates, I really can't say anything about him. But actually, a cool thing on the cover is he's reading an L. Ron Hubbard book. And I can't read the title. I can't read the title of the book that he's reading. If you look really closely, like look for this book right here. Yeah. So, quite interesting. So, yeah, it's a great book. I thoroughly enjoyed it. Next week, I'm going to do a very special one. It's either going to be Quantum Leap Prelude, Quantum Leap the novel, or Doctor Who and the Cybermen. I haven't decided which. So, stay tuned next week. Over and out.
Well, that was certainly something. It's good to know that my tendency to explain my history with books came from then. I also noticed that I said next to nothing about the book up until the 7-minute mark when I think I started reading out of it. So I can safely say I didn't remember anything about the book back then. I also noticed I pronounced things weird. For example, I kept calling the book, Old Doc Methuselah, which I think might have just been, I don't know why I did that. I can pronounce it now. I also inflected things weirdly. When I said William Hartnell, I said William Hartnell. put emphasis on the end of his name. I don't know why I did that. Although that part is true. For a while, I did imagine old Doc Methuselah as, William Hartnell. Now I'm doing it the weird way because I heard myself do it in the video. I pictured him as William Hartnell. I think because of the name, and, because Doc and Doctor and Methuselah, which I normally hear used for people of advanced age. So I guess it just kind of fit together in my head back then. I can't pinpoint why I did half the shit I did in that video. Like, I started talking about the cover and the dust cover. Like, I was fishing for things to talk about, and I think that's because I was trying to hide the fact that I remembered nothing from a book I had read the day before. Because of... I recommended it, too, and I can't imagine doing that now. I think I recommended it because I was like, well, I don't remember anything, so it can't be that bad. I think if I ever... I'm sorry that I keep looking down. I keep looking at the book. I put it down next to me, so... I just keep looking at the book, trying to see if it'll trigger any memory of what happened. I still don't remember anything, and I didn't remember anything about the book in that video, aside from the fact that he has a companion. Oh, and also, my old sign-off was in there. For a while, and I think I might still use it occasionally out of habit. My sign-off used to be, over and out. I don't know why, I guess because I couldn't think of anything better, so I just started saying that. Obviously I stopped using it for a while, and I started using see you next time, which, fun fact, see you next time is also the sign-off from Reading Rainbow, so that was unintentional, but I'm keeping it because I think that's pretty cool. Yeah, so you can see a lot of bits of the show are starting to come together in that video. For example, Journey of the Sorcerer was used as the theme song, and the intro sequence. There are no words over it, mainly because I was using Windows Movie Maker, and I couldn't put words over it. So that was like when the bits of the show started to finally flow. And that was also, for a while, the last standalone video I did, because the next video after that is my first storyline. So that's gonna be a little extra stuff for me to be embarrassed about, because I've walked the storyline bits occasionally. Because when I'm doing stuff, I have to make sure I'm not, repeating stuff from a storyline or something, so I gotta go watch it and make sure I'm not copying myself, because I've deliberately looked at certain parts of the storylines for when I did that plot guide video I think I did it last year. I did, because I remember, it was when I started using an external mic before I got this camera, so it was last year, but I haven't watched them since. So yeah, next week we look at the first storyline I ever did, and I'll see you then.